Alright, so today's project is, I don't know if you remember in previous video before I took the handbrake out, something happened with this wheel where it wasn't holding anymore. The other side was fine, but something happened with this wheel, so I got to take this apart and see what's going on with this. Alright, so what ended up happening was, I don't know if we're going to be able to see this or not. That part right there popped out of the shoe. So that's what happened, and that's why it wasn't working. So I've got it back in there. We just got to get it secured back in now. All right. Well, it is back together, and that's what it was. It had just popped out of there, so I put it back in. Hopefully it stays in there this time. I'm kind of glad it wasn't the springs breaking or anything or snapping, so that was a fairly easy repair. So, you know, I don't know how that popped out, but it did. So hopefully I got it in there right this time. The other side was fine. But, yep, we'll go from there. All right, so now my next project is, if you remember when I took the dash apart, this crumbled and everything. So I bought a new one of those, and I also bought a new ignition switch, because I was told that you might as well replace it while you're here because it goes bad. So we're going to go ahead and attempt to get that out, and then get the lock out and exchange the ignition switch. So the ignition switch was, or the switch is easy enough. The problem I'm having is getting the lock out of this part. I can't figure out how to get it out. I asked, somebody said you got to drill holes in this, and boy, it just seems like that's a lot of work to get the lock out, but maybe that's what you have to do. And if that's the case, maybe I'll just leave it. I mean, it works. It does spin. Maybe I'll just clean it out and pack it full of some of that bearing grease, that multi-vehicle grease that I have that I use for the front wheel bearings. But you can see the difference. How you can see the bearings. See how it's all dirty and nasty? And then this one, it's got a cover on it. And that's what disintegrated when I took this out. And that's what fell apart in my hand. And that's what protects those little ball bearings. So, I mean, I'm not gonna destroy my lock trying to get it out. Then I got to get everything rekeyed. So, yeah. I'll see if somebody else has another idea. All right, so I started this project, and I decided that I would sit here and record it a little bit. So I was taking the trim pieces off. And what I ended up doing is there's these little clips in here. And I pried this off of the little, let's see if I can get a picture of these little, not really nuts, but whatever you want to call them, little rivets. And then these pieces slide down into the rivets, or over the rivets. So what these clips look like is they look like this. So if, let's see how I can do this. I'll show you. So if the tip of the screwdriver is the rivet, this goes over the rivet, slides up, and slides over. And then this part slides into there over that rivet, and that holds it in. The clip holds it in. So I tried using a screwdriver and everything to move these, but I couldn't. And now what I realize is right here, they are stuck to this foam part. So you got to get them off the foam. But what I did was I just popped it off the rivet, the front part. I was able to pull the trim out and then use... Oh, hang on. What did I do with it? No, I don't know what I did with it. Hang on. What I used was this. Loosen that up. Put this on it because it's a good flat surface. Tap it up to get it off that rivet. And it works really, really well. So that's how I got the trim off. So you might be saying, hey, Rob, why are you putting those in a bag? Well, I said, you know what? I'm going to replace them because they're rusty and they're old. Each one of those is $10 a pop. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 of them. That's $160 for clips for the windshield trim. So we're going to go back to our handy dandy Evapo rust. Throw them in there. See how they clean up. Maybe put some rust preventer back on them. Maybe even paint them to help prevent more stuff. But I'm not spending $160 on clips if I don't have to. So that is why. Alright, so since I had air in the compressor, I've been meaning to do this, so I got just a little hose stuck down in there. Going into the... Oh, it popped out, but it's going in. I'll get it back in and I'll show you. You can see it, the air coming out at the other end. So I'll go ahead and compress it. Keep your eye on that little piece of lint to the left of the box with a little piece of dirt. See it moving? So I know that that is clear. So I'll do it on the other side as well. Alright, now the other side. So that is all clean. Alright, so today's goal is going to be getting this into there. See how that's curved? I think what I might do is right here at this edge. Might just cut and come straight down to the end. So just come down and over. This is right on this seam right here. So I think I'm going to leave that seam, but just cut down, straight down. And then do that. I think that might be my best course of action. And then place that over this, draw the line, cut this the same as that. So I've got to get this out of the way and get this back up on a jack stand. So that's out of the way. So that'll be the first thing I do. Okay, so we've got it taped off. Cut on this outer edge, the left edge of this one. And then we'll take that piece and see how that does. Get one shot at this. So here we go. All right, so That piece is cut out. Kind of served it up a little bit. Not too bad. I still have some trimming down here on the bottom. I need to get that bottom edge off. But it's not too bad. I think I need to clean this corner up just a little bit, maybe. And then, as you can see, I cut it. Cut it a lot bigger than I needed it. So, and then I need to clean up this top as well. So, I think I'm going to grind it down. And just try to get it a little bit smoother. And get rid of some of these edges. So, we'll go from and get that done. So I've got this in here, and it's not sitting perfectly yet, but I got a gap here, and I got a gap here. So what I think I am going to do is make up some pieces and put them in there. Weld those together, then weld the bigger piece in, and then any of the gap that's left, the space that's left, I'll fill in with some Bondo and stuff like that. So next thing will be is welding. Well, I fucked that all up. Tried getting this in there and welding this. And then it just started blowing through. I got it welded. I thought I had it. And then somehow, as it was welding, it got crooked. So, I don't know. It's really frustrating. So, I got to think of what I'm going to try to do next. All right, so just a little update on this. So what I have done is I've welded back behind here and all the way here. So when I take this and I set that on there, I have something to weld to. I got a couple of holes that I got to figure out how to fill still. Actually, just one hole. Not exactly sure how I'm going to get this, but we will figure that out. But I think what I'm going to do now is get this piece in. I'm going to get it in and then cut a little piece for this hole and weld that in. And then we should be good to go, I think. I did run into a problem. I'm going to have to feather this edge down here. So the problem I ran into was, if you can see how thin that is? See how thick that is? It's because it overlaps underneath there. So it's an extra sheet thick. So by doing what I did, I don't know if you can really see, there's a lip there. So what I'm going to have to do with some Bondo is I'm going to have to feather that into here as best I can. Once again, not going to be perfect. But, to try to get rid of that lip as much as I can. But there's nothing I can really do about that with what I have. I guess I could get a whole new piece and blah, 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 blah. But that I'm not going to do. So I think the next step is going to be welding this piece in. Wish me luck. All right. It ain't pretty. But it's in there. So, for my first welding job, I'm going to call that a win. So I still got to fix this. But considering how upset I was the other day when I messed it all up, what I've got here is at least going to be fixed. So I'll get a little piece and I'll weld a little piece in here. That's what I'll do. But I'm happy. That I am. All right. So what I ended up doing was I filled that hole. I filled the one down here just by building up my weld. So now I am very happy. I just got to get everything ground down, but it's in there. It's not going anywhere. And I am very happy. So, first welding job, that one deserves a beer. That took me 2 days to figure out and get that in. So I probably spent, I'm going to say 8 or 9 hours just getting that in. So, happy Memorial Day.